I'm back. So obviously, as you can tell by today, I'm going to be heading over to Reddit, which is a site that I have hardly ever been on. I don't have an account. I've only gone to Reddit because I might ask like some obscure question or a question that's answered on Reddit or is on like an r/ page, and I end up opening it. For that, I never actually knew what Reddit was until these recent past few years. So today we're going to be creating a Reddit account so I can specifically go to certain r/ pages, and then, or maybe I could just get the app. I don't see why I just can't get the Reddit app. I just really wasn't planning on making a Reddit account. I need to talk louder. Okay. Wow. We're already here. We're already here on the r/am I the asshole Reddit page. And these are short and simple and sweet. Okay, cool. Let's just jump right into it. r/am I the asshole. Let's go. Am I the a-hole for calling my husband's ex a shitty mom? I have a 19-year-old stepdaughter. We are very close and I love her. My stepdaughter is not close to her mom for multiple reasons, mainly because she favors her older brother. My stepdaughter has posted about it a couple of times in social media, posting pictures of things her mom buys or does for her brother and not for her, with the caption saying, "When you are not the favorite child." Oh my God. A few days ago was her mom's birthday, and stepdaughter only sent her a happy birthday via text and nothing more. A few hours later, her mom posted pictures of her birthday party and an expensive gift that her son had bought for her with a caption, "And some people wonder why he is my favorite." My stepdaughter was about to cry and I was fuming, so I posted a few pictures of my own birthday party, which my stepdaughter threw for me, and gave me an expensive necklace and wrote, "This is how a kid treats you when you are not a shitty mom to her." She shortly called me after and called me a bitch for calling her a shitty mom. I was only stating a fact, so am I the asshole? Honestly, in my opinion, I would say that this person is not the asshole, simply because I kind of understand how this feels and how this may be coming across to the stepdaughter. I have experienced people in my life getting everything that they want and me getting nothing. It hurts, especially when you're a child. I understand that the stepdaughter is 19 years old, but it still is kind of like, what the fuck? It seems like both the stepmom and the brother are a-holes. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the sister would need to have a conversation with the brother, because I don't know if he's doing this on purpose to try and piss her off and be the favorite, or if he's genuinely just trying to love his mother. But the mom is extremely petty. If I had to go out here on a limb, I would say that this mother is a child herself. And not by like age, I'm talking about like mentally a child. And it seems as if she cares more about materialistic things and having extravagant parties and things like that still, rather than loving her children and making sure she has a good relationship with them before it's too late. So yeah. Am I the a-hole for upgrading dinner plans since my husband couldn't make it to his own B-Day event? So my husband's B-Day was last Saturday. We also had friends, a couple, come in from across the country that Friday. Initially, we were planning to go to a steakhouse for his birthday and as a get-together, but unfortunately, he unexpectedly had to work, so he couldn't make it. I asked our friends if they mind a last-minute change to a fancy sushi place. All three of us love sushi. Husband prefers steak and doesn't even like raw fish. Anyways, it was definitely fancy. We did omakase with a bunch of a la carte. The total for the three of us was over $1,000. What the fuck? We celebrated his B-Day the next day at that steakhouse. I didn't tell him about the switch because I didn't want him to feel left out. Later, he was asking if we were okay with eating steak twice in a weekend, so I had to tell him we had sushi. Unfortunately, our friends were really excited to share about our experience, their first time to said place. He didn't say anything more about this, but in private, he said I essentially celebrated his B-Day without him. I asked him what did he want me to do do with friends across the country staying with us for just a weekend. Go to McDonald's. So was I an a-hole for doing a more fancy and expensive dinner without my husband on the night of his birthday because he couldn't join? Edit. I didn't tell him because he was called into a horrible case and his patient died and he wasn't even on call. But also, I didn't want him to feel left out despite it was no one's fault. Felt guilty enjoying life while he was going through the wrenches. He can't even tell me exactly why he felt upset. He's not mad. Took them to omakase because they never had it. FYI, not that it matters in my opinion. I paid for both dinners from my personal leisure fund. Oh my God. This one's a toughie. I'm not gonna lie. This one doesn't obviously have me being like, oh, so-and-so's an a-hole. I mean, it's not like the husband freaked out or anything. He was just genuinely upset. And I completely understand that. He has every right to feel upset, especially after what he went through. I'm gonna say that this person isn't an asshole simply because they didn't know what was going to happen that night. They didn't know he was going to be operating on a patient that would pass away. They didn't know any of that stuff. Yes, it sucks to be on call and get called in for your birthday. However, I completely understand that you don't want to just go to Burger King or Wendy's when people travel across the world to come see you. I completely understand that. And it seems like these people sat down and had a conversation like mature adults about it. So that's also a plus. And no one is left with a bad taste in their mouth. I think the only reason as to why the husband was so upset was because of the night that he ended up having. But yeah, final verdict, not the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for demanding to know who was driving when brother-in-law and sister-in-law hit our car in the driveway? Recently, we were staying at my mother-in-law's house for the weekend. My brother-in-law, husband's brother, and sister-in-law visited one night and left after we went to bed. They then sent a text that we were pulling out and we hit your car and we will pay. My car has a pretty bad scrape on the side. The thing is, I know my sister-in-law was drinking and I get the feeling she had been driving. But when I'm trying to figure out what happened, it's always we. So I keep trying to find ways to ask without straight up saying it. And eventually I say, who was driving? And I get the response, why? Like they are purposefully hiding it. Here's the thing, my sister-in-law and I don't get along at all. We are as polar opposites as anyone can be. I'm a hard worker, she's a self-professed layabout. My brother-in-law makes all the money in their house and she spends it all while doing absolutely nothing. Gotta love that. And she has money coming in from her parents as well. The reason I want to know is because I think it's important that if she was driving, it should be her personal money that pays for it, not my brother-in-law's. I don't think she's ever had to face the consequences of her own actions before. I also know she was drinking and think that if this was a drunk driving incident, we should know. She could really harm someone with that behavior. My husband and I got into a fight about it now because he says, why does it matter? He doesn't understand why I think it's important. Your husband kind of sounds like the asshole. Even when I said we should make an official report and go through insurance, he said he doesn't want her to get in trouble, not them, so he knows the truth too. Now we're fighting about it. Am I the asshole? No, you're not the asshole. You know who the asshole is? Everyone else in the situation. Your husband's an asshole for fighting with you over it. Your brother-in-law is kind of, an a-hole for covering for his wife's nasty and illegal behavior. And then, of course, the sister-in-law is an asshole. What I'm wondering is, why in the world would this person let a drunk individual drive them? Was he also under the influence? Why couldn't they just both stay at the mother-in-law's house? Why did they drive? Why did they leave? If one person was sober in the situation, that makes it even worse. If not, can't really say anything. Honestly, I think that it is important to find out if she was driving or not, because it is extremely serious when somebody is driving while under the influence. It might have not been their car that was scraped that night. It might have been a family of 4 killed in an accident. You never know. I mean, this bitch was obviously, she's either stupid or was drunk as hell, because for you to pull out of a driveway and end up hitting someone's car when it's a fucking straight shot, no one should be sticking up for her. No one, literally no one. I could understand if her mother was sticking up for the sister-in-law, because, you know, you gotta get that behavior from somewhere. This person is not the a-hole. Everyone else is the a-hole. This is ridiculous. Everyone's acting like a child. This person is going about this the right way. You know, both of these people should not be paying for it. This needs to be a claim. Insurance needs to handle it. Specifically, her insurance needs to handle it because she's the one driving. That's how it works. And she has every right to do so. They're both mature adults. It doesn't matter if they're related. Take the relations away. If it was a stranger that hit your car under the influence, wouldn't you want to do something about it? I don't like when people take their relationships and alter any form of like thoughts, opinions, things like that based on solely, you know, oh, is it my sister, my brother, my friend, my aunt, my uncle, my mom, my dad? It doesn't matter. If they do something bad, they do something bad. So, not the asshole. I know it already says a-hole, but oh my God, do I so want to read this. Okay, am I the asshole? I'm getting married in a year and have set an age limit of 21 and over at our wedding, but my family are asking me to budge on this decision. Am I the asshole? Basically, we're getting married and have said that we want no children. Kids of friends, kids of family, kids of relations. And the amount of backlash we have received despite us paying for the wedding is ridiculous. My brother has 2 loud children and has never been favorable of our relationship, but is absolutely adamant that his kids should be at the wedding. We have said over and over again that anyone, despite relation, who is under the age of 21 cannot attend the ceremony or, as it were, the big day. However, we are now receiving an influx of messages 18 months before the wedding from folk who can't sort childcare. My partner and I don't want children, aren't big fans, and frankly, don't want to waste money on extra tiny guests, but our families don't get it. Am I/are we the asshole? Why does this say asshole? Why are they the asshole? It's their wedding, they're paying for it, this is their memory, their day, their life, their choice. I don't understand why people are saying that they're an asshole. Children suck. And it's not because I don't want children or I hate kids. They just suck. They're needy and loud. And that's just how they are. It's completely normal that they are, you know, they always ask a ton of questions. They are loud as shit. They scream, they cry, they need, they want, they eat, they shit. It's normal. It's all normal, but it's annoying as fuck. Especially when they're not your kids. You may love your children. Other people do not love your children the way that you do. Trust me, even my dad to this day, growing up, I remember, he voiced his opinions on other people's kids and said that he does not like them. He is not a fan of other people's children. He loves his kids. He feels a deep, unconditional, unwavering, unbreakable love for his children, but he could not give a shit about any other kids. And that's how it is. That's why parents are so mad. But the thing is like, you gotta think about it like as a mature adult. I'm sorry that you chose to have children. You chose to spread your legs. You chose to have a child. You should not put that burden and responsibility on somebody else. That is no one's fault except your own. And if you can't figure out a situation, if you can't afford a babysitter or don't have any family to take them, then I'm sorry, that's no one's problem but your own, because you chose to have kids. You took on this life as a parent, and this is a part of it. But yeah, I don't know why this says asshole. This person is not it. This ain't it. And I guarantee you the majority of the people in this comment section are the ones that are actually the a-holes. Well, thank you all so much for experiencing this with me and reading these with me or listening to me read. And if you want to, I would love to hear your opinions about the things that we've gone over today and whether or not you think that someone is the a-hole or not the a-hole. I want to hear, you know, your side, basically, what you got to say. Just don't say the wrong thing. Goodbye.